Someone in the comments section drew my attention to something I almost missed. There's a fight for edit going on Wikipedia, an actual edit battle to control the narrative about Joni Lamb. And not just any narrative, specifically about her cause of death and her relationship with Jonathan and Doug Weiss. So I decided to dig into it. I wanted to see what was actually being changed and why. And what I found shocked me. Because there's an account that was created on May 10th, 2026, 3 days after Joni died. And this account immediately started making edits to Joni's Wikipedia page. Specific edits, coordinated edits, edits designed to hide certain information and add false information. The account has no name, just numbers. It's temporary, it's anonymous, but the edits themselves, they reveal exactly who's trying to control the narrative. Let me walk you through what the Wikipedia edit history shows, because the evidence is right there, documented, timestamped, and completely exposed. Here's what the original Wikipedia entry said about how Joni died. Lamb died from complications of breast cancer, specifically from an overdose of opiates at her home in Bedford, Texas on May 7th, 2026. That's specific. That's detailed. That tells you exactly what happened. Terminal cancer, opioid overdose, May 7th, 2026, Bedford, Texas. But then the account made an edit, and here's what the new version says. Lamb died from complications of metastatic breast cancer at her home in Bedford, Texas on May 7th, 2026. Do you see what was removed? Specifically from an overdose of opiates, gone. That one detail changes everything. Think about what that detail means. Joni was on opioids. That's normal for terminal cancer patients. They use them for pain management. But overdose of opiates raises questions. Was it accidental? Was it intentional? What was the timeline? Who was with her? How did it happen? These are the questions the account doesn't want people asking. Because if people know Joni died from an opioid overdose while dying from cancer, they'll wonder, was she alone? Did someone help her? Was this at the end stages? What was her mental state? All questions that could raise uncomfortable implications. So the account removed that detail from Wikipedia and replaced it with just metastatic breast cancer, which is technically true but hides the mechanism of death. But wait, there's something else in the edits that's interesting. In another version, the account changed a line that originally said, Lamb died from complications of a back injury, specifically from an overdose of opiates, and changed it to, Lamb died from complications of breast cancer, specifically from an overdose of opiates. So there was apparently a confusion in the Wikipedia entry about whether she died from back injury or cancer. The account corrected it to cancer. But here's what's interesting. Both versions mentioned the opioid overdose, and in both cases, the account eventually removed the opioid overdose detail entirely. That's not a correction, that's a removal. Now, before we go any further, let me ask you something. Why are you watching this? I'm guessing it's because you care about accountability in the church. You care about truth. You're tired of watching celebrity pastors get away with corruption while good people get destroyed. Me too. And if that's you, subscribe to this channel because we're not stopping. We're going to keep holding these ministries accountable. We're going to keep telling the stories that nobody else will tell. But YouTube only recommends content to people who engage with it. So if you want more content like this, subscribe, like, comment, share. Let's make sure the truth gets louder than the lies. Now let's get back to it. Now this one. This one made my jaw drop because buried inside that same single edit, this account added a brand new line about Jonathan Lamb, Joni's son, a line that was not there before. What this account added: Jonathan was upset that he wasn't named as CEO of Daystar in his father's will. Y'all, I need you to sit with this one. Because this is not a correction of an existing fact. This is not fixing a date or updating a reference. This is a brand new piece of information being inserted into Wikipedia by an anonymous account created 3 days after Joni died. And here's why this matters. We know from our research that Marcus Lamb sent an explicit email to the Daystar board stating, if Joni passes or retires, Jonathan will become the head of Daystar. So Jonathan knew he was the successor. He was not upset about the CEO position because he already had it, according to Marcus's succession plan. Jonathan's concerns were about his mother marrying Doug Weiss, about a man she'd known for months, about false theology being used to justify the marriage, about his daughter's safety. But somebody, using this anonymous account, wants Wikipedia to say Jonathan was upset about being CEO. Why? Because it reframes the entire conflict. It makes Jonathan look like a power-hungry son instead of a son trying to protect his mother. Ask yourself, who would know the private details of what Jonathan was or wasn't upset about? Who would benefit from planting that narrative on Wikipedia? Who does it serve to have that on every Google search about Jonathan Lamb? These are not small questions. The third change from this same account completely softens how Joni's relationship with Doug Weiss is described. And when you understand what actually happened, this edit is deeply suspicious. Before, Weiss was previously married and ended his marriage in order to be with Lamb. After, Weiss was previously married and was divorced before beginning a friendship with Lamb, which led to them falling in love and marrying in June of 2023. Here's what we know from our research. November 30th, 2021, Marcus Lamb dies. December 2021 to early 2022, Doug begins secret contact with Joni. February 2022, Doug announces his divorce from Lisa after 36 years of marriage. May 31st, 2022, Doug's divorce from Lisa is finalized. June 10th, 2023, Doug marries Joni 18 months after Marcus died. What did Doug say about Lisa during their 36-year marriage? 30 years and I'm still butterflied as soon as she walks in. Lisa is my buddy, my friend, and co-partner in business. She's got the purest heart I've ever met. I am attached to her soul. But what was he actually doing? On the phone with grieving widow Joni for 19 hours while his own wife was home, planning a marriage to another woman while married to Lisa, divorcing Lisa just months after Marcus was buried so he could pursue Joni. Now, let's look at what this Wikipedia account did with that narrative. The original version described Doug's relationship to Joni as connecting directly to the end of his marriage, that the two were linked. This account changed it to soft language, friendship that grew into love, a clean, sequential timeline with no suggestion that one caused the other. But we know that's not true. We know Doug filed for divorce just months after Marcus died. We know he was pursuing Joni while still married to Lisa. So this edit, this same edit session where the opiate language was removed, also softened Doug's role in destroying his own marriage and pursuing another man's widow. And y'all, it doesn't stop with Joni. This same account, in this same single edit, also went back and touched the description of how Marcus Lamb is characterized, his vaccine stance, his cause of death, all of it. Before, Marcus discouraged vaccines, died from COVID-19 complications. After, added by this account, Marcus encouraged informed consent of vaccines, reframed as pro-choice, not anti-vax. So this account also rehabilitated Marcus Lamb's anti-vaccine legacy, changed discouraged vaccines to encouraged informed consent. Now listen, Marcus Lamb went on his own television network and told people not to get vaccinated. That is documented multiple times on camera. Changing discouraged to encouraged informed consent is doing a lot of heavy lifting to soften that legacy. And it came from the same account. All right, let me just lay this out plain. Because when you see all 5 changes together and understand they came from one freshly created account in one edit session, the picture is undeniable. This account, created 3 days after Joni Lamb's death with 0 edit history anywhere else on Wikipedia, sat down on a mobile phone and in a single session scrubbed the opiate overdose language from Joni's cause of death, planted damaging information about Jonathan's feelings over the CEO position, softened the narrative around how Doug Weiss's marriage ended, rehabilitated Marcus's anti-vaccine stance, and reframed how Marcus's death is described using specific insider medical details. That is not a Wikipedia editor. That is somebody managing a family legacy. Somebody who knows which narratives are dangerous. Somebody who knows what Jonathan said about the will. Somebody who knows what Doug's divorce looked like from the inside. Somebody who knows the details of Marcus's medical history. All of that. One person, one account, one phone, 3 days after the matriarch of Daystar passed away. People online are saying this sounds like Rachel Lamb. I cannot confirm that. What I can confirm is that whoever this is, they are not a casual Wikipedia editor. They are somebody deep inside the Lamb family circle, with intimate knowledge of private family affairs and medical details, who felt an urgent need within 72 hours of Joni's death to shape what the world's most searched encyclopedia says about this family. You drop your theories in the comments, because I want to hear what y'all think. And remember, Wikipedia has a full public edit log. The internet is forever. And truth, Proverbs 12:19, the lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Listen, I take my responsibility on this platform seriously. I presented facts, public, documented, time-stamped facts. I named no one. I drew no conclusions beyond what the evidence itself shows. But I will say this. If you are inheriting a ministry empire and your first move 3 days after your mother dies is to grab your phone and start rewriting Wikipedia, that tells me everything I need to know about what you are protecting and what you are afraid of. The truth does not need protecting on Wikipedia. Only a narrative does. Stay discerning, y'all. Stay prayerful and stay in the Word. God bless. Peace.